Okay guys, today's video is about corrosion again. Corrosion is pitting, metal pitting. So metal pitting is actually like rotting, okay, metal rots. So there's no way to repair. Don't ever ask people if they can repair corrosion or not. Can. Corrosion and pitting can be repaired, but not on fishing reel. It's gonna be very expensive that you wouldn't want to pay for it. Alright? So drop the idea of repairing the corrosion or pitting. What you can do is either buy a new part or you prevent it from further corroding away. So how to prevent it from corroding further? Some always inquire, oh, my spool corrode, how can I get rid of it? How can I prevent it? Then of course there are people, most of them will guide them by saying, take a piece of sandpaper, sand off the corroded area, then you put a layer of nail polish or whatever coating over it. All these colors on aluminium, they are not just aesthetic purposes, okay, they are also a form of protection. Okay, like this silver looks aluminium, right? It's actually already being anodized, just clear anodized, so it maintains the original color. It's already protected. Okay, so if you were to use a sandpaper to sand off the sharp edges, you will tend to sand off those anodizing, some of the anodizing as well. So you are not just removing the sharp edges, but you are also removing the anodizing coating away from those non-corroded area. Okay, so how do you actually do it step by step? My way, okay? Okay, as you can see, this is a jigging master, a common area for all the bait casters that has got a trapped salt water at the reel foot, but this one is quite bad. Let me zoom in, take a look at the moon face. Okay, so if let's say for example a spool, if there's a corrosion at the edge here, what should you do? Do not use a sandpaper to sand off. Don't. Okay, do not. What you can do, okay, what you can do is get a chopstick, sharpen it, not too sharp, and then slowly just scrape off. Use the chopstick because it's plastic, okay, it's definitely softer than aluminium, and you just remove the sharp edges by scraping on it. Okay, can you see? So plastic itself, let me show you. Look at this reflective area. I'm gonna rub on the reflective area to show you that it does not scratch or damage the aluminium. See guys, see the reflection? There is no scratch at all. So a plastic is a form of good way to remove sharp edges on pitting on aluminium. And because it's sharp, you can actually go into very tight corners. Okay, you can actually reach all the tight corners. Whereas if you're using sandpaper, alright, it's so soft, even though how you fold it is hard, but it's not as pointed as a chopstick. Alright, you can't reach the corner like I reach, and even though I go over the non-corroded areas, it does not scratch, it does not remove the anodizing. Okay, so by this, you just keep scraping or rubbing, use the plastic and rub off the sharp edges, make it blunt. Okay, blunt off the sharp edges, the corners on the pitting area. on the pitted area. Alright, this is how I do it. It protects your non-corroded areas and it removes the sharp edges and corners of the corroded area at the same time. Let's take this for example. Okay, you see, I can just vertically and then rub it like that. See? I can just rub it. It does not remove the coating at all, the anodizing coating, but it rounded up the corroded area, you see? Smooth. And then after that, you can put whatever super glue or nail polish. For me, I would prefer super glue. Any form of super glue. Why do I prefer super glue? The reason is very simple. Because super glue is more diluted, it's more watery. So it will eventually seep into even tinier and smaller gaps of the pitted areas. Instead of nail polish is very thick and very, it's much more higher viscosity. So if you want the nail polish to smudge into those tiny little gaps to fill up them and protect them away from further corroding, it's a little bit difficult. So I will prefer any kind of super glue. Alright, then just slowly drip it over and then let it cure and sit inside, settle down. After that, you can do whatever you want. So guys, this is just a very simple, basic, I would say, remedy. It's a little bit of common sense thing. You need to think which material is harder, which one is softer. Or is this harder than that material, or is that material harder than this material? It's all about balance. You need to work reverse and work the way around, okay? Don't use sandpaper. It's a very, very high risk application to do or to use. Alright? So guys, please throw away the sandpaper when you come to corrosion. Alright? You can even use a very hard kind of wood, sharpen it, take your time, scrape off, round up the pointed sharp edges, especially like I said again on the spool. I use this plate corner and resemble a spool itself, because spool itself most of the time when you talk about spinning spool, it's always the corner that you're worried you cut off the line, right? So this resembles the corner. Just use a plastic, any kind of plastic, alright, and or any kind of chopstick, very hard kind of wood, and just keep rubbing, scraping over it. It will not damage your anodizing area. It will scrape off your sharpened edges. And yes, this is how the way you do it, or how the way I do it, right? Thank you.